We're here for another edition of the Outlook series, and I'm your host, Mike Lippis. Leading firms are leveraging a more decentralized approach to address digital business infrastructure requirements. For instance, edge computing enables data to be processed and analyzed closer to its source. Edge processing delivers cost reductions with more efficient processing for inspection, quality assurance, and enhanced safety. Illustrative of the trend is the growing warehouse applications at the edge space, which has created the opportunity for deeper insights, faster response times, and improved customer service. Now joining us to discuss warehouse applications at the edge is Bob Bova. Bob is the President and Chief Executive Officer of AccuSpeechMobile. Bob Bova, welcome to the Outlook series.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey there, Bob. Now, what is edge computing?
That's a great question. Edge computing is processing data at the point of work. And now there is quite a bit of architecting of applications with that in mind. Also with digitization, for instance, in the warehouse with that in mind. Also taking into consideration the Internet of Things, being able to have smart devices. There is so much relevant information right now that can be captured at the edge and then can be utilized in the cloud for different types of AI implementations, and also being able to understand where you can make, small changes and have significant impact on the quality of work, productivity, accuracy. So it's something that's really starting to take off in many industries: warehousing, mobile inspection, asset management, oil and gas. There is a huge move for companies to deploy processes, applications, and devices that can be a real strong architecture for their edge computing. It's a very, very exciting, fast-growing strategy right now, and there's lots of great products to utilize it, too. So a lot of companies are taking a real hard look at edge computing.
Now, how does voice picking on the edge compare to traditional voice picking applications?
The older voice picking solutions were on-premise based, server based. Many of them were proprietary hardware based, whereas now voice picking on the edge is primarily ubiquitous in terms of operating system. It supports Microsoft, it supports Android, it supports iOS, plus it takes full advantage and exploits the feature richness of mobile devices, scanning devices, tablets, laptops, and it can really utilize all of that on the edge to input data quickly and effectively, and also utilize macro capabilities where the technology can push buttons, scan automatically, really take advantage of all the capability that in the past was just a voice input mechanism to a server that had to be translated to a WMS system, for instance, for picking in the traditional warehouse implementation. So it's completely changed the landscape, because voice picking on the edge has also led to lots of different types of applications being voice-enabled on the edge. So it's becoming a much more strategic implementation voices, because the capabilities are there basically to voice-enable any application inside or outside the four walls of a warehouse or manufacturing facility.
Now, in what ways does VPE, or voice picking on the edge, leverage voice automated workflows?
The big thing is that you can voice enable and voice empower an application to collect data at any time, whether you're connected to the cloud or not. You can work online, you can work offline. So being able to have a voice automated workflow, there's no limitation anymore in terms of where and how you can use it. Another big benefit of it is it provides complete command and control in combination of the device and the application. So you can have a voice utterance, say for instance green, and green could mean, okay, fill out these two pieces of this form or this application this way, push 2 function keys automatically, push a return key, and then skip to the third screen. So those voice automated workflows at the edge, again, you're exacerbating the capability of the hardware, but you're also providing a very, very fast implementation of data collection, and it's correct 100% of the time, and the process is absolutely controlled by the management who wants their process controlled exactly the way they want the data inputted. So that's really the keys to leveraging, utilizing voice on the edge for the best possible capability for voice automated workflows.
So how does VPE go about data collection?
Again, voice implemented today on an Android or any type of new mobile device, for instance, like a Zebra device, you can collect data any way that the device can collect data. You can use barcode scanning. You can use voice. You can use you can still use the keyboard that's either on the screen or on the device. But now you can also use wearables like Zebra's HD 4000, which is really starting to provide more capability from a visual perspective. So what we actually do is since we automate the workflows, all that data that's being collected is real-time data. So they're going to get process information so that they can make intelligent decisions on how they can continuously improve how they do what they do. And so they can take that data. We have a reporting capability. Any piece of data that we touch, we can show our customers exactly how many and when and where and where mistakes made. So that data collection, again, on the edge, is done by any way that device can collect data. We're an adjunct type of capability. In the past, it's been voice only, and now that's just not going to cut it anymore for today's forward-thinking organizations in manufacturing and logistics, because they need to be able to utilize all the capabilities to get data input, and that's exactly what today's VPE does, is it leverages all those capabilities on the edge to collect data and optimize the workflow.
Now, can the new mobile devices utilized by today's organizations handle warehouse applications at the edge?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that makes what we're doing now so exciting. The capabilities of, for instance, all the new Zebra Android devices are just amazing, and there's such a richness of the product set. It can be a wearable, it can be a tablet, it can be holstered, it can be, there are so many different models that customers can choose from that they can utilize throughout their warehouse or for mobile inspection. So they're not locked into a single hardware device. They can utilize all different types of hardware devices, and today's VPE or standard voice implementation on the edge can have the same footprint on all those devices and be utilized regardless of if it's a tablet on a forklift or if it's a wearable on someone's wrist. So those capabilities, and they continue to be improved upon and added to, again, like the HD 4000 from Zebra. Now they have eyewear that you can put on and connect directly to these Android devices so that you can see images, and it makes the job even better, makes training faster. So yeah, a lot of the devices today are just really, really impressive.
Can edge voice technology enhance the use of the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence? The
evolution of the edge device is really unbelievably impressive since like 2012. So now these devices are actually able to make decisions with the correct software. They can make predictions. They can process complex data. They can administer solutions. You know, the whole thing with IoT is they're going to be able to tell you when a specific thing might fail, or when something's out of toner, or where there might be, you know, significant error messages because the scanner doesn't work. The ability to take edge technology and provide salient data to the people who are managing that warehouse, those applications. It's very, very interesting. It's going to allow for quicker turnaround times for newer equipment. It's going to provide insight as to systemic issues potentially with a certain product set, and it's going to allow, they really do empower the capabilities that IoT and AI are going to provide at the edge, I think. And since it is a hardware-driven, our edge architecture is hardware-driven, and the IoT and AI are going to become extremely interesting technologies moving forward.
Is there a way to implement voice automated processes faster than before?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons why AccuSpeechMobile has grown so fast over the last 4 or 5 years is primarily because of the architecture. The old architecture was, again, very server-based. It was a lot of proprietary coding. It was interconnectivity between that proprietary voice server and a WMS or a WCS, warehouse management system. And it could take 18 months to 24 months. Now with a device-based, edge-based solution with these very, very robust edge-based devices, it can be done in a couple of weeks. You can take for instance, our AccuSpeechMobile Studio and build an implementation, a very feature-rich, architected solution for a voice automated process, and have it in place for testing within 2 to 3 weeks. This rapid application also entertains the ability to do more than one application. You can start to look at other things, other processes. And this is what makes our customers very excited, is that they can learn how to use the studio. They can decide how they want to do what they do. They can really take a look at how they're going to get the most productivity and accuracy, and also train up folks too, because right now it's so very, very important and difficult to find the right people. By being able to train folks quickly, voice is a real strong way to do that. And if you can do that quickly, it makes customers very, very happy.
How long has AccuSpeechMobile provided edge-based solutions?
That's a great. We've been in edge-based technology since inception. We've always embedded and installed all of our technology on the mobile device. So now that it's becoming a very attractive subject matter in many industries, it's gratifying for us here at AccuSpeech to know that we bet on the right horse, and that we felt that these devices were going to become sophisticated, and we're going to have all types of multiple capabilities. And since inception, as we've continued to expand the capability of our studio and the functionality and the multiple languages and so many other features of our runtime license on the devices, it really has lent itself to this growing capability of the hardware devices. So we went in the right direction. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Now, what can AccuSpeechMobile deliver when it comes to solid metrics on ROI as well as efficacy and productivity improvements?
We generally see a productivity improvement between 20 and 35%, but some get even more. Plus, the error reduction is very significant, especially if you really voice empower the process. So the more we can automate an optimized process, the more the errors get completely reduced. But as I mentioned previously, it's also terrific for training up new people quickly. And now with the visual capability of the HD4000 from Zebra, people who are more of a visual type of a learner can also now, when they say something, see images, and that helps folks, again, who are more comfortable with visual cues than those who necessarily maybe are more auditory learners. But one of the things that we provide all of our customers and our prospects is a very, very detailed, very granular ROI calculator. And we can take a look at how they're doing what they're doing now, what they're seeing, what the standard rate, for instance, of picking is, and then we can make what-if scenario statements about what they're actually going to see and what and what profitability could actually fall right to the bottom line just by implementing this capability. Nothing makes operations folks happier than being able to have a real ROI metric before a project starts, so that they can go to their manager and go, this is what we're expecting, hopefully it will be better. So it's an important aspect of what we do, because we really try to partner with our customers and give them the metrics that they need so that we set the proper expectation.
Yeah. Now, which warehouse applications can leverage edge-based voice technology and reporting?
Historically, it's always been picking, and primarily piece picking, cold storage picking, food, but also case picking, any type of picking in a warehouse, because it's such a high density, high profile application. There's a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of it. But when edge-based technology, voice technology, really started to take off, people understood that they could voice enable lots of other applications beside picking, cycle count, refresh, shipping, receiving, cross-docking. I mean, everything that you would like to automate with voice, especially if you have a highly optimized workflow, you can do. And with edge-based voice technology, it really, really makes sense, because you can stage deployment, you can do one at a time, you can test it, and it really gives a lot of flexibility in terms of moving forward where you should use voice, where it can have a significant impact. Quite frankly, you can voice enable just 1, 2, or 3 screens in a single application, say for receiving, and that may be all you need for receiving, but it can provide significant metrics in terms of accuracy and productivity by being able to do many things when you say something. So that's the type of flexibility that our customers get with our edge-based AccuSpeechMobile technology.
What do companies that have already made the move to Android need to know about your solution?
That's a really good question. Almost all of our customers are mixed environments, or are moving to Android, or have just recently moved to Android. One of the very interesting things, and a very positive thing in our industries, is that the companies who write those applications have given the customers a pathway to migrate from one operating system to another. And again, as I had just mentioned, the stage deployment capability of the AccuSpeechMobile solution allows for our customers to move at their pace from one platform to another, because our technology specifically can be recompiled if you have a project that's been working, for instance, on an older Windows CE technology. It can be recompiled for Android. It can be recompiled for iOS. And it can be utilized pretty quickly on that new operating system. So that migration path for our customers has been in place for some time, and they've known that. And one of the reasons why our customers went with us was because they knew that we would port the projects over. They also knew that the runtime licenses would migrate from one device to another without any additional cost, and that we would provide them with a migration path for the application, for the runtime, and that as they move forward and moved and evolved those applications to a newer OS and newer hardware devices, we would be right there with them to help them. So that's the thing that they should know, is that we're becoming experts in this move, and that they should feel very comfortable reaching out to us and talking about what the opportunities actually are.
Now, how would you counsel existing customers, your existing customers that have developed edge-based applications on Microsoft devices?
That is probably one of the biggest questions we get now. How do I get from Microsoft to Android? I have terminal emulation-based applications. I have browser-based applications. I have thick client-based applications. And those workflows transition from Microsoft to Android pretty seamlessly. And there are wonderful partners in our channel, for instance, who are happy to talk to customers about moving from one platform to another. Many customers, especially in the warehouse, use terminal emulation. Companies like Stalinked, they have a wonderful pathway from the terminal emulator on Microsoft to Android, and how you can move your application over. And we also have, again, a lot of resellers that can provide the expertise to assist or even do the transfer from one platform to another. But there are so many wonderful tools out there and partners that it is it makes the transition very smooth. And the wonderful thing about a transition is that you also have the opportunity to add capability and add the optimization using automation. So many times we'll take a newer application and add voice to it that perhaps they hadn't voice enabled before. Because if you're going to move, why not add that capability at the same time? So a lot of our partners are doing the same thing. They're taking their customers from the old Microsoft CE days or the Mobile 6 days and saying, hey, by the way, since we're going to move you to Android anyway and you're getting all these new wonderful devices, why don't we drop some voice automation in? It's a wonderful time to do it. You can train your folks on the entire new platform all at the same time, and you hit the ground running.
Now, which mobile devices does AccuSpeechMobile support?
In our industry, just about everything. We support iOS, we support Android, we support Microsoft, and that can be a tablet, a PC, a wearable, a barcode scanner, just about anything that can support voice input. We've tried to make it so that customers understand what our functional capabilities are, and we encourage them to take full advantage of the capability and features of today's devices because they're so very, very feature rich. So we've worked real hard to be able to support them. We have wonderful relationships, for instance, with Zebra. We support Honeywell, Datalogics, all the major mobile device manufacturers, and quite frankly, they're all very, very solid platforms to work on. So we're very happy with what they're doing with their devices because just everything they do makes our implementation and what we can do stronger and stronger.
Now, can AccuSpeechMobile help firms that are looking for a technology roadmap for needs and requirements that may change over time?
If we learned anything from COVID-19 from a distribution perspective, it's that it can be an enormous change absolutely immediately. And one of the things that one of our features and benefits has always been the flexibility of the AccuSpeechMobile studio and technology. The whole idea is to be able to make changes within minutes and be able to deploy those changes to the mobile devices within minutes. So as things change, and again, agility right now is just so very, very important in the warehouse, that the ability to automate processes as they make changes to them and, already voice automate those workflows and make changes easily. And again, we talked briefly previously about how easy it is to deploy. You can test those changes on a single device to make sure it's exactly what you want as you move forward. No more do you have to put everything on a server and change everybody over at the same time and cross your fingers. You can do it one user at a time just for testing, and then you can deploy it to everyone if you wish. One warehouse at a time, 10 warehouses at a time. It really doesn't matter. The secret of that is our studio and our ability to be able to make those changes to existing projects that we already have, just make a quick change and recompile it, and literally within minutes, those changes can be out on the devices and can be tested. So the advent of Android also makes that a whole lot easier because it makes it simple for users to be able to pick an OS, and it also says, okay, great, this is the platforms that you're using from an operating system and a hardware perspective. You build the projects, and then they're the master of their own domain. They can pretty much do whatever they want. And that's one of the big reasons why so many customers have chosen us and gone from an older system to AccuSpeechMobile, and also just ones who are going to voice for a first time. They want to be able to manage it themselves. They want to be able to be the captains of their own ship, so to speak. And that's a big benefit that our AccuSpeech Studio provides.
How many workflows do your clients typically voice automate?
That's a great question. Since the AccuSpeechMobile technology only requires a single runtime license for as many applications as you want to voice automate, our customers generally somewhere between 5 and 15. We've got so many customers that have so many workflows voice-enabled with us in multiple languages all around the world. So we also support multiple language support on a single device. So if you've got a multilingual warehouse, when people log in, they can choose the language they want, and they automatically have the exact same workflow in the language that they understand and the language that they like to speak. So it, again, allows our customers to think very, very strategically, but there's an ease of tactical as well, because you can make changes very quickly, add languages and do things, but it also gives you, again, from a workflow capability, some visibility into when you want to do it, where you want to do it, and how you want to do it.
Hmm. Now, can you share a use case with the Outlook Series audience?
Sure. One of our biggest customers is Cabela's Bass Pro, and we're in almost all their stores, at least the Cabela stores, all 5 of their major centers, and we've got 16 applications voice-enabled with them. In the first year, when we voice-enabled their 3 different picking applications, their accuracy improved from 900 errors to 90 errors, 60% reduction in training time, twice the number of inventory counts with the same number of people, improved their inventory control, and really gave them a full capability of, again, the training was the thing that really wowed everybody. It just really, really helped to be able to say whatever you needed to say. Tootsie Roll Industries, another great company to work with, another terrific. They had a full mixed pallet pick, 3.2 million cases that we automated that saved them 111 work days the first year because we automated the intake, which was really pretty amazing. So, I mean, your mileage may vary depending on how optimized your processes are and what your workflows look like, but we always seem to get between, 20 to 30% after about a 90-day acceptance of the technology by the folks who are utilizing it. So we're always looking for ways to make it better, too, for our customers. So.
Well, that's impressive. Now, would you like to add anything else to our discussion before we wrap up for today?
I would. The process that we're utilizing now is what's called our on-site proof of concept. And we come to your site, and we will show you in a day or a day and a half, 2 days, voice automating some of your workflows right in front of you. And you can see how the studio works. You can see how you can voice automate workflows right on your network, on your devices. Even if you want to move from Windows to Android or Windows to iOS, we can do it. And then you really get an idea of the power of edge-based, device-based voice automation. You really get to think about, gosh, we could use it here, here, and here, but nothing says this will really work in my environment, in my warehouse, for my application, than having an AccuSpeechMobile engineering expert on site and showing all the capability on your stuff, and then that really will probably give a real-world, gosh, this is how we can use it, we really should get this in as quickly as possible. Because that's the biggest thing we get now is when people see it, they want it right away. They need the help. Everyone needs help in terms of training up people, making them more productive, eliminating errors. Once they see that it really works the way that we say it works with this POC, there's usually an accelerated implementation schedule. So we really encourage people to call us and let us know and give us that opportunity, because we're helping an awful lot of companies, and I'm sure we can help others as well. So.
Now, where can our audience get more information on AccuSpeechMobile's voice on the edge?
Well, AccuSpeechMobile.com. Our website's got all kinds of great resources. In fact, our blog on July 2nd is specifically about moving from Microsoft to Android. So if you go to our website under resources, you can read that blog. There's some good information in that. But all around the website, there's information about how you can voice automate, what it can actually do for you, what platforms are supported, and what you should look for in terms of the expectations regarding what you have and how you do it and how we can help. So, AccuSpeechMobile.com.
All right, Bob. Hey, I certainly appreciate you joining us for another edition of the Outlook series, and wish you the best of luck with your endeavors over there at AccuSpeechMobile.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to log on to the Outlook Series site for your business and technology news.